Yo, what's up guys, and welcome back to the series Making a Beat 4. And today we're going to be making a beat for Vikkstar 1, 2, 3. Let's do it. So if you guys aren't sure what this series is about, basically I take a YouTuber, go through all their videos, cut up nice little sound bites, and then try and make a beat out of those sounds. The first episode I made a beat for Liza Koshy, and because Vic was the highest requested on the last video, that's why we're doing Vic today. And before we go any further, I'm going to show you a clip of the finished beat now, and then after that I'll show you how I did it. Alright, roll the track.
Voice is really high.
Pretty sick, right? Finding sounds from Vic's videos was a lot more difficult than Liza's, mainly for the fact that obviously in Liza's videos she's a lot more bubbly, she like screams a lot, she does a lot more stupid noises, whereas Vic is a little bit more calm, cool and collected. But I was still able to find some absolute gems of video clips, such as I fucked with your mom!
Your voice is really high today.
It's a bit nutty, this one.
And I'll show you the rest of the clips that I used as we get there in the beat. So, step one, I obviously found the clips that I wanted to use, but then I cut them down and converted them into audio files so I could throw them into my software. By the way, the software that I use is Logic Pro 10. I get questions on every single video about what software I use, so Logic Pro 10. Cool. And when I was cutting the sounds up, I couldn't really find any sounds that were perfect for a kick or a snare. So I basically decided that I'm going to use my own samples for the kick and the snare, and then probably 808 as well. But that was fine because most of the clips that I found that I wanted to use for Vic were more like sound bites that I'm going to use for like a drop or the build up or a transition. But to start off with the beat, I used these two sounds. So you've got a hi-hat and then more of an open hi-hat sound that I ended up using more as a clap or a snare. The open hi-hat sound I got from this clip here.
I don't think you can guess who this is.
EQ'd it to take all the lows out, so I just end up with like a sound. Cut up the bit that I wanted, and then I had the sound. And then I basically did the same thing for the regular hi-hat sound. Took this clip here of Vic saying 10.
Hey. Between 1 and 10.
Applied EQ again, and then cut up the sound that I wanted. Basically all that I want for this one is just the of the 10, the very start of it. And then I basically just made a basic drum loop rhythm just to give the beat a starting point. And then I started working on the melody. Now the melody in these videos is always my favorite part to do. I love taking like a little chunk of someone saying something and then turning it into a melody that I can actually play on the keyboard. I think that's just sick. So I use this sound here, which is Vic playing Fortnite as Thanos. And I just thought it was perfect for a melody. So I chopped up the part that I needed, applied a little bit of EQ, added some auto-tune just to smoothen it off a little bit, and then I exported that as a separate audio file. Once I did that, I used an app called Mixed in Key, which is an incredible app. Any producers or songwriters out there, make sure you go and buy this app. It's insane. It allows you to throw in any audio file and it'll tell you the BPM and then also the key of the song, which is very important if you're doing auto-tune vocals and you want to know what the key is so you can apply the same setting in your auto-tune. Anyway, so I found the key of the little snippet that I wanted to use for the melody and then put it back into Logic using an EXS24, which is basically a sampler. In this case, I found out that the key of the little sample was in A, so I dropped it on A in my sampler and then stretched it out so I could play it on the keyboard. And then I just messed around on the keyboard, trying different melodies until I found something that I liked. Once I found one that I liked, I recorded it in. And remember, that melody was created literally just from Vic. Sounds pretty cool, right? Once I had that MIDI melody down, I exported the whole thing and then re-imported it as an audio file so I could mess around with it a little bit more. I did that by using a plugin called RC20. Shout out to Zishan. This gives it a little bit more of an authentic sound. You can add vinyl effects, you can add distortion. It just sounds more like a sample that you would find in an old song. So at this point, we pretty much have the basics of the beat done. We've got the melody and then we've got a little bit of a drum beat. Obviously we need to build on this more, but we had a starting point. I ended up finding some clips of Vic where he was just chanting.
Hey, 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 yeah. Get it, get it.
And obviously they are perfect for making a hip hop rap sounding beat. Obviously this part is not really that advanced. All I did was cut them up a little bit, add some EQ, clean them up, and then just pitched it down a little bit. So it had a really cool like, sound.
Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, get it. Hey, hey. Yeah.
I thought the melody needed a little bit more, so I wanted to add some chords into the mix. And basically I did the same thing before where I exported the sound and then put it back into my keyboard so I could play it. And I used this clip of Vic saying higher.
Voice is really high today.
By the way, that clip is jokes. I'm gonna play you the full beat at the end of this video and you'll hear that whole soundbite in its entirety, but just wait for it, alright? But anyway, yeah, I used the higher part of that sound, stretched it out a little bit just so it would hold longer on my keyboard so it didn't just cut out really quick. And then I recorded just a simple chord progression just to give the beat and the melody a little bit more depth. And at this point, the beat is sounding really good. Obviously, guys, by the way, keep in mind that this whole beat up to this stage has just been made purely from sounds of Vic. So it's not going to be groundbreaking, but I think it sounds pretty good, considering the fact that everything you hear is literally just Vic. But at this point in the process, I decided it was time to add some other samples in. So all I used for this part is a kick, a snare, and then an 808 down the line. And for this part, I basically just made a simple kick and snare pattern that goes along with the rest of the beat that we've made so far. Like I said before, I couldn't really find any sounds that were good enough for a kick and a snare from Vic, so obviously that's why I'm using my own, but doing this will allow the beat to sound a lot more professional and a lot cleaner, basically. I also moved the original open hi-hat sound that we had that I was using for a snare, and I used it as more of an open hi-hat sound, which is what the sound is, basically. I think it sounds better. And this beat is starting to sound mad. And to take it to that next level, I added a simple 808 pattern with a few pitch bends in there. And at this point, the beat is basically done. So the main meat of the track is finished. Now I just need to arrange it a little bit and then add in the sound bites that I mentioned at the start. And for me, this part was just jokes. Vic has some sick one-liners and I think they fit the track really well in a comedy sense. Alright, so now it's time for me to play the full beat. It's about 50 seconds long and I'm going to leave it as the outro for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, the support you guys show on my videos is just insane. I can't thank you guys enough. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Also, it's my birthday tomorrow, so I guess leave a like for that. That's pretty sad, isn't it? Also, leave a comment down below on what YouTuber you want me to feature next. And yeah, here's the full beat. Peace.
It is your boy.
It's a bit nutty, this one.
I fucked with your mom! Yeah!